Well guys, welcome back to another video. It's great to be back out. Now you probably guessed earlier on in the video, I'm back out on the streets of downtown Vancouver. I'm going to do some street photography today. Now I got up nice and early this morning with anticipation that there was going to be some fog and mist. There was a forecast of fog and mist today. It's not quite cold enough, I don't think. There is no wind or anything like that, but it's just not cold enough to get that atmospheric fog that I was hoping for this morning. So I've came to Tim Hortons, got my morning coffee, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we'll get up to today. So I've made my way onto the streets of downtown, really enjoyed my coffee, so I'm looking forward to having a good walk about today, see what we can capture. Now I'm in a place called Canada Place. You know, I mentioned about the fog and the mist earlier on. We were expecting that this morning. Now we have got it over in North Vancouver there. It's absolutely shrouded in fog, it really is. But in downtown itself, it is here, but it's just tickling the tops of the skyscrapers. We haven't actually got it on the streets. Now, it works the same as landscape. When you've got some fog and atmosphere in the streets, it really does create some good images. You can get silhouettes of people in alleyways with the fog and mist in the background, and it can work for some really good shots. So just a general walkabout today. I'm going to be looking for interesting subjects. I want to utilise some light. This weather is supposed to break. You know, I've got a lot of low cloud and fog at the moment, but that's supposed to break as the day goes on. So I want to utilise those bright highlights that I like for black and white. And also I'm going to use artificial light in doorways, in cafes. Interesting subjects, colour. You can use graffiti on walls with subjects walking by, and just try and get creative and see what they can come across. So I'll continue my walk. We'll see how this weather goes, see how the light goes, and see what we can capture. I'm outside this cafe here, and I was really attracted to the sign. Inside the cafe there's a sign on the wall that says Yum, and then on the glass itself it says bakery. So what I'm wanting to capture is I'm wanting to capture the girl serving the food at the counter, inclusion of the sign, but also using that artificial light that I was on about before. I was saying about when you've got gloomy conditions like this, you can work with artificial light within stores, shops and cafes and bars, anywhere like that, so you can continue with your photography. Now it is going to be black and white probably, I haven't decided yet. So I've pre-focused, I'm using the Loxia 50mm. I'm shooting it at f2.8. I've pre-focused on the girl that's serving food at the counter, and that's grabbing the image. I'm bumping the ISO up a little bit because we have got no light today, but we're using the artificial light inside the cafe itself. That's going to help with that. I'm actually in a doorway of another cafe. I'm going to make use of some artificial light inside the cafe itself. Now because the weather is gloomy, cafes and restaurants and inside bars, if they've got lighting, it really stands out, so it works in our favour. But there's a guy behind us there. He's actually sitting with his laptop doing his work, having his coffee, and he's sitting at the window. So because I've been able to come in this doorway, I've been able to get a different perspective on him and get a side-on view. Now there's some really nice lighting in here, got some nice lights hanging down, so I think it'll make for a nice shot. And because he's sitting next to that lighting, he's going to really stand out. So I'm going to grab this image. Now I'm going to shoot it at 2.8 again. I'm going to pre-focus on the guy himself, and then I'm getting around about 1/60th of a second, which is more than quick enough with the Loxia 50mm, and see how we'll get on. see if this weather changes. So I'll get this shot and I'll put the image up now. It is day 2. I decided to head home yesterday. The weather yesterday was atrocious. It was gloomy, it was miserable. You've been able to see in the video. So I was really struggling for the images. I was struggling to be inspired because we didn't have any of that all important light. I said to you in my last video, in street photography, light's just as important as it is in landscape. You really do need light to work with to create the images that you want to capture. And I love it when you get those dark shadows and you get some sides of the buildings that's illuminated. They really do make for great shots. So that's what I was after, and I wasn't coming across that yesterday. The weatherman got it wrong. It stayed like that pretty much all day. The sun didn't appear. So I went home, checked the weather. Now today it said it was going to be blue sky, it was going to be a lot different, and it really is. You can see the mountains behind us today. I'm down at Canada Place where I started off yesterday. Totally different feeling today, and that's one thing to do if you struggle, and just call it a day and reassess things. So that's what I've done. So I'm hopeful that we're going to be a bit more fruitful for images today. Looking forward to the day itself, enjoying this glorious weather here in downtown Vancouver. So I've came up this bit of a stairway here. There's some nice light coming in as that sun comes up. It's creating some nice contrast because we've got those nice shadows. And what I've looked for is people coming down these stairways. So as I've been standing here, I've been just seeing what the light's like, see how the light falls on the person. That's one thing to do when you are doing street. Stand back and see how the light hits your subject that you're going to be including in the image. And so I'll let a few people walk down the steps. I'll pre-focus because I am using the Loxia 50mm. I'm going to focus round about 2.8. That's going to get my subject nice and sharp and capture some of that light in the background at the same time. We'll see how we get on. But a nice first image of the day. Just wait, it's just a case of hanging about waiting for someone to come along and grab the image. tried that first image, got the lady and the dog walking down the steps. Nice first image of the day. I'm still in the same location, but I've came beyond the stairway itself and looking at the building that's up above it. Now, love the straight lines on the windows of the building here. Love the way the light's falling onto it. It's all about that light. Now, I said to you about watching how people walk through the scene and seeing how the light falls on them. Now, as this sun's coming up, it's creating more shapes, more opportunities for photographs. So the image I've seen here is, I want to photograph someone walking through the scene, but where you can see the little patch of light at the top of the stairway there, that's where I want the person, that's where I want to focus and capture the person walking through the image. Now, to include a bit of foreground, I've got this bit of a seating area below us here, and it's got these intricate little shapes on, and I'm wanting to use that to frame the bottom of the shot. So I'll get a bit lower down with the camera and you'll be able to see how I've been able to incorporate it as part of the image. Now I've got the shape of the light, I've got the shadows on the floor, and all I've got to wait for is someone to walk into that light, and we're going to have the nice straight lines of the building behind and a bit of interest in the foreground. So that's what I'm trying to include. Now hopefully you can see how important light is. You know, I've only been out a short period of time and I've got a couple of shots from this location that I'm at. Now just about to enter the station, I'm going to cut through the station, make my way a bit further into the streets, and I've came across, you'll be able to see the building behind us, got some lovely shapes there and some nice light. Now that light that we've got, it's not direct sunlight, it's actually reflective light from the skyscrapers behind us. You'll be able to see how bright it is behind us because that's where the sun's falling onto the building. So it's throwing that light over to this area. Now the shot I've got lined up is, you'll be able to see that light that I was on about, and we've got those circles on the side of the wall there, so it creates some nice shapes. I'm just basically getting off to the left hand side and waiting for someone to walk up that stairway. So all I'm going to include is the light, the shadows, those lovely shapes, and capture someone coming up to the top of the stairway. I'm going to focus on this area around at about 2.8, getting a shutter speed of 400th of a second, which is more than quick enough to stop the action, so my subject's nice and sharp. Another image, great day, and let's see what else we can capture. So having a great day. I've swapped out the lens, I've put 35mm Sony G Master on. I just want to see if I can get a wider perspective on things and see if I can come across anything else. Now because we're getting this glorious light coming in, it really is lighting up subjects within inside restaurants and places like that. You're getting those nice dark shadows, plenty of contrast. Now I've got a gentleman and a lady sitting in the cafe window enjoying the morning coffee. So that's what I want to capture. We've got some nice cafe tables outside, the pavement's nice and lit, and the subject's nice and lit as well, so I think it'll make for a nice black and white. And this is going to show you how using natural sunlight, you know, is different to using artificial light within buildings. Now the problem I was up against yesterday, because it was murky and gloomy and it was daytime, the artificial light inside the cafes, it wasn't really highlighting the subjects. But today, because we've got this sunlight, it's really making the subject pop and stand out. So I'm going to get back, I'm going to go over the street, grab this image and then make our way a bit further into downtown. Came a little bit further into downtown, still enjoying this sunlight today. Now I was coming across this building just behind us that you can see, and I love how clean the side of the building is, and you've got some nice windows there. There's a couple of shadows coming in from some lampposts behind, but because the background's so clean and nice and bright, when you get a subject walking by they really stand out. So I'm going to grab an image. Now I don't know if it's going to be colour or black and white, I'll decide when I get back, and that's what I generally do. If I think it makes for a good black and white, I'll have it black and white. If there's a lot of colour in the shot, I tend to leave it colour. But I'm going to try and grab this shot. So I'm focusing in round about 5.6, focusing in on the pavement. I'm using back button focus and then just getting the shot, and I'm getting quite a quick shutter speed because of these conditions that we've got today, so it really helps with your shutter speed. Well guys, I'm pretty bushed to be honest. I've been out for the best part of the day. I've had an absolute brilliant day being able to show you more of downtown Vancouver, something a bit different from my channel. Yesterday we had those gloomy conditions. It was a bit wet, but I was able to show you how to utilise artificial lighting within restaurants and places like that. So I was pleased with the images that we got, but today with this bright sunlight that we've had some nice contrasty scenes. So I've been able to give you a good example what it's like using natural light and using artificial light. Now artificial light ideally works better really early in the morning if you've got lighting in shop doorways and places like that, or late on an evening or a night time. Because yesterday, because it was murky and gloomy and it was already light, the artificial light within the cafes wasn't really standing out that well. So I hope you can take something away from today's video. It's all about just showing you my process, how we get images, my thought process, getting those images, and gives you a bit better understanding about street photography. So If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, it's much appreciated. If you haven't seen my channel before and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. But from me in downtown Vancouver, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye bye.